Good morning, friends. Today we are going to continue with our essential question of how can I use place value? Our learning target is that you will be able to compare three-digit numbers using the symbols less than, greater than, or equal to. Let's build the numbers 333 and 208 using our base 10 blocks to help us compare the values. 331 has 3 hundreds, 3 tens, and 1 in our 1 spot. The number 208 has 2 hundreds, none in the 10 spot, and 8 in our 1 spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, one more is 8. First, when I compare numbers, I start with the greatest place value. So I look in my hundreds column. The greatest place value here is the 3. This number has 3 in the hundreds, and this number has 2 in the hundreds. 3 is greater than 2. So that tells me that the number 333 is going to be greater than 208. So 331 is greater than 208. We will talk more about what these symbols mean in our following slides. Use these steps when you're comparing numbers. Step 1, line up the numbers by the place value chart, just like we did on the previous slide. Compare the digits in the greatest place value first. If they are the same, you are then going to compare the digits in the next place value. For example, in our number 618, I am comparing it to 634. First, I look in my hundreds place value and I see that they are the same. So I then move into the 10 spot where I have a 1 and 3. I know that 3 is greater than 1, so that tells me that the number 634 is greater than 618. Here you see it wrote out for you. 634, here's my greater than symbol, is greater than 618. And I looked in my 10 spot because the numbers in my 100 spot were the same number. In this grid, we are going to do the same thing. First, I look at my hundreds. They are both 8s. So I then move to the 10 spot. In my 10 spot, I have a 4 and a 2. I know that 4 is greater than 2, or I could say that 2 is less than 4. 823 is less than 846. So it is wrote here for you using the symbol 823 is less than 846. In this case as well, I looked at the 10 spot to help me figure out which number was greater. In this example, we can see that the numbers are equal. I first looked in my 100 spot and noticed the numbers were the same, 9 and 9. I then moved into my 10 spot and noticed that they were both 7s, which are the same or equal. I then moved all the way into my 1 spot, but noticed that the 8s are also equal to or the same. This tells me the number 978 is equal or the same as 978. In this case, I had to look at all three place values to determine what the value of the numbers were. Let's compare the following numbers together. Record your answers in your response journal. We are going to use the greater than symbol, the less than symbol, and equal to. 142 and 124. First, I look at my 100 spot. This one has a 1, and this one has a 1. So next I move into my 10 spot. This one has a 4, and this one has a 2. I know that 4 is greater than 2. So 142 is going to be greater than 124. In number 2, I have 253 and 257. I see they both have 2's in the hundred spot. They both have 5's in the 10 spot, but I see in the 1 spot, this one has a 3 and this number has a 7, which tells me that 257 is greater than 253. 253 is less than 257. In number 3, I have 313 and 313. Right away I notice that every number in the 313 is the same. 3, 3, 1, 1, and 3, 3. So right away I know that these are equal or the same value. Next I have 842 and 798, 5. Right away I see in the hundreds place value that the 8 is greater than the 7. So I know that 842 is greater than 795. Please make sure that you are writing these responses in your response journal. Let's move on to number 5. 694, 694. Again, I notice all 3 digits are the same, which is going to tell me that my number is equal to each other. Number 6, 203 and 153. In my hundred spot I see a 2, and in the hundred spot I see a 1. I know that 2 is greater than 1, so that tells me that 203 is greater than 153. Next I have 100 and I have 1000. This one is a little trickier, friends, because I see this number in the hundreds place, but this number has a 0 in the hundreds space because this one is in the thousands place. By this number having a number in the thousands place and this not having a number in the thousands place, right away that tells me that this is greater than 100. So 1000 is greater than 100. Or I could say that 100 is less than 1000. Let's move on to number 8. 999 and 99. I see that this number, 999, has a 9 in the hundreds place, but this number, 99, does not have any number in the hundreds place because it is composed of 9 tens and 9 ones. That tells me that 999 is greater than 99. Next I have 133 and 133. I notice that all 3 digits are the same, so they are going to be equal to. Number 10, I have 743 and 743. Again, all 3 digits are the same, so they are going to be equal to. In number 11, 861, 871. I see an 8 in the hundred spot. In 861, I see a 6 in the 10 spot. And in 871, I see a 7 in the 10 spot, telling me that 7 is more than 6. So 861 is less than 871. Lastly, for number 12, we have 542 and 452. I see that this one has a 5 in the hundreds and this one has a 4. So that's telling me that 542 is greater than 452. In your response journal, answer the following question. Explain how to compare 567 and 576. Think about what digits you look at first. Don't forget to use complete sentences and explain your thoughts. After you are done with your writing, please join your friends back in the classroom to do the On My Own sheet for today, where you are comparing 3-digit numbers.